things. Even if the President's executive order on AI weren't overly broad and heavy-handed, executive orders are, by their very nature, not permanent, since they have the potential to be reversed or amended at any time. And they stand a good chance of being reversed or amended when a new administration comes into office. This creates uncertainty for companies, which can stunt expansion and innovation. The right way to approach AI regulation is to pursue a bipartisan, nationwide approach in Congress that will protect innovation.
How much money do you need to actually implement the plan? I too am a little troubled by some of the political rhetoric around the IRS, given particularly the checkered history of the IRS and targeting certain taxpayers that you're all too familiar with as a result of your coming in after the lowest learner affair and the targeting of certain taxpayers. But the president said we're not going to collect taxes from people making under $400,000 a year. Actually, he didn't.
Is released. And although the future for the Social Security benefits are in jeopardy, some lawmakers are not looking to save Americans hard-earned benefits, but give recipients an additional $200 per month. Introduced by Democratic Representatives Peter DeFazio and Bernie Sanders, this expansion act for Social Security will give beneficiaries 12% more each month, which is $200 a month, or around $2,400 stimulus checks. The bill would boost benefits for some earners currently earning above $147,000 are not subjected to Social Security taxes, but the bill would change it so all earnings at or above $250,000 are taxed. Lawmakers said more than 90% of households will not see a change in how their income is taxed and will not be raised. It's projected that Americans will stop receiving their full Social Security benefits in 2035 if the lawmakers don't act, according to a report released by Social Security and Medicare trustees. Folks, the massive climate change and healthcare bill was finally passed by Democrats this past weekend. IRS is set to receive nearly $80 billion through this act, and the agency has the means to develop the new systems to help Americans pay their taxes. However, several hurdles stand in the way. There's also pushback from commercial tax preparation companies, which question whether Americans want the IRS to prepare their taxes. This is another bill that includes a provision that allocates $15 million to the IRS to make plans for a free, direct e-file tax return system. Those plans would have also to be developed within 9 months and will be included in the cost estimates for creating and administering a system. They would also require public input, and so far, Senate Democrat Elizabeth Warren resubmitted a bill called the Tax Filing Simplification Act. It would require the IRS to create its own free online tax filing service and move away its partnership with private tax preparation companies. Warren told reporters Americans spend too much money to file the taxes. Spend too much time and money to file their taxes. The IRS should adopt these proposals to help millions of people file taxes and claim refunds.
Supports extension. We would love to see Congress enact that. It's made a huge difference to inequality. It was a very important initiative. I feel very proud. I appreciate your comments. I feel very proud of the work that Treasury and particularly the IRS was able to do to get this money out and to do everything we possibly could to ensure that non-filers, all the many households who weren't required to file tax returns, to make sure that they receive the credit as well. I would love to see, and we've been talking about investments in the IRS. One thing that investments in the IRS would do is make sure the IRS has the modern tools it needs when we have tax credits like that to make sure they go to the families that deserve it, whether they file tax.
So will you be receiving a stimulus check this month? I know that's the question that many of you want to be answered. Listen to this. You are eligible to receive more stimulus checks from a new federal program. This is really great because it's going to help so many people that are financially struggling due to the crisis. So remember folks, on this channel, I always do my very best in providing you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check and Social Security news. So it really means a lot to me if you could subscribe to the channel.
An executive order to ensure that the federal government puts you, the American people,
was they said, Joe, if I vote for X, Y, or Z,
they're going to primary and it'll cost me my election. Not a lot of political courage, but an explanation of why there's a lot of people who believe what we're doing is right, but just a little work.
Of Biden's proposed plan. Assuming the per borrower cost of cancellation remains unchanged, the groups estimate that the adjustment program could cost $175 billion in foregone payments and interest. We have some major news. There are upcoming changes to Social Security, and it may take effect sooner than we expected. As Social Security is adjusted on an annual basis, lawmakers are working together to improve the program. On one hand, bigger monthly payouts may arrive for many beneficiaries, but a certain group of people could see their tax liability increase. For over 49 million retired workers who depend on Social Security benefits, the program is a vital financial lifeline that helps cover their monthly expenses. This retirement program has a significant impact, lifting more than 20 million people out of poverty. It includes 15 million individuals aged 65 and above. But Social Security is not a static system. It continuously adapts to changes in the U.S. inflation rate, life expectancy, and other relevant factors. Although specific changes won't be announced by the SSA until October, there are several changes that will take effect in 2024. The most anticipated change is the cost of living adjustment, which is an annual increase intended to keep the pace with the rising cost of living. Due to high inflation, though, people are having questions about it. In 2023, beneficiaries reached the highest COLA in 41 years, but the COLA for 2024 is expected to be more modest. The nonpartisan senior advocacy group, the Senior Citizens League, estimated that the COLA for 2024 will be 3%. For the average retired worker, though, receiving $1,900 would mean an additional $55 per month next year. Unfortunately, though, the purchasing power of Social Security benefits have been declining regularly since the start of the century, and any increase actually won't even adequately address the estimated loss in purchasing power that is experienced by seniors since 2000. Another change for the upcoming year involves high-earning workers who will see an increase in payroll taxes due to a rise in the maximum taxable earnings cap. The payroll tax contributes about 90% of the program's revenue, and only about 6% of workers reach the maximum taxable earnings cap a year. Additionally, high earners collect Social Security benefits. They may experience a large monthly payout, as the maximum monthly benefit amount at a full retirement age is expected to rise in 2024. To qualify for the maximum Social Security benefit, you must meet 3 criteria. You must be the retirement age of full, work at least 35 years, and reach or surpass the maximum taxable earnings cap at all 35 years used in calculation.
I recognize the gentleman from New York, Mr. Jacobs, for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, and thank you to all the panelists and Speaker Gingrich for being here today. This is a very critical issue for the future of our nation and our young people. I served for over 7 years on the Buffalo School Board, so kind of a lot of my tone here will be with that experience, but certainly it highlighted for me the significance of what you're talking about today. I can't recall the exact statistics, but I do remember our kindergartners and our pre-K kids coming in